Hey, good morning, everyone. And Kit Shukla here. I hope you all are having a fabulous Monday morning. I sure am. I actually just flew in, my wife and me, from Europe yesterday. If you've been following my previous videos, we've been in Europe the past couple of weeks on a 8-country tour. It was absolutely fabulous. We absolutely love traveling and going overseas and experiencing different cultures, which you certainly will, the good and the bad. And you just gain so many experiences through traveling. I encourage everybody to travel whenever they can, even if it's just local travel. Go to a town that's 100 miles away from you if you've never been there before. But I certainly encourage people to travel and expose themselves to other areas of the country and the world. One thing I wanted to talk about today was an issue that I don't think has been discussed too much online, about one of the risks that occur overseas, especially overseas. I mean, of course, it can happen in the United States as well, but it's certainly more common in a lot of overseas countries, and that's pickpocketing. Now, of course, we hear about, maybe murder rates in other countries or the dangers of this and that, but a common thing is, especially since a lot of countries are more civilized, you may not have to worry as much about, getting murdered or, getting assaulted, kidnapped, things like that. Certainly it'll still happen. I'm not saying don't be aware of those things, but one of the biggest things to be aware of, again, is our pickpockets. The reason I'm making this video right now is because I was actually recently a victim of this. Not in a big way, but still a victim. I've been traveling overseas for years, and I've always been very cautious. I've learned ways to make sure that I don't get pickpocketed and I don't lose my things. And but yet again, I was still a victim recently. I'll share my quick story with you. I was actually on a subway station in Paris, which has happened, which I've been many times in the past, and I was a victim of getting pickpocketed. Luckily, they did not get a very large amount because I keep my cash, scattered around. And I don't keep it all in one place. So a lot of it I keep back at the hotel, and I carry some of it, but I'll carry it in various pockets and various things. So even if they do get something, it won't be very much. But what happened, and also I learned to start carrying a fanny pack. I was never really a big fan of fanny packs. I never really carried them before, or man bags or anything like that. But certainly they can come in handy, especially when you're overseas and you want to have more control over your belongings. So I was carrying a fanny pack, but I don't carry it around my waist. I just think it looks so awkward around me. I carry it kind of over my shoulder, kind of like this. And what happened was I had a small amount of cash in this pocket right here, in the very front pocket, and this one lady kind of sidled me. Well, we were on a busy subway platform, so everyone was kind of bumping into each other to get on the train, and I noticed this one lady was kind of sidling me like this. Like she was, it looked like she was trying to take this one corner to go into the subway, and like trying to get around me. And then she went back outside the door, and a guy later said, "Hey, be careful. She was trying to pickpocket you." And I said, "Whoa, what?" And I looked at my pocket, and it was like partially open, and I had some cash in there, just a few dollars, maybe $20 or $40, not a very big amount. Because I have various pockets in this thing, and I don't carry more valuables in there than I absolutely need to. For example, I won't carry my passport in a country that doesn't require me to have my passport on hand. I'll keep it in a safe, which I'll start doing more, make sure I'll do more of now that this situation occurred. But it was so crazy just how good these guys are, and how just like that they can take something that belongs to you. I'm very thankful that it wasn't something more than that. I'm very glad that I didn't have my passport in there and they took that. I'm very glad, I was carrying a small box of my wife's jewelry on the bus, but when we got to the hotel, we put it in the safe so I wouldn't have to carry it around town. Luckily, that wasn't in there, so they could have stolen that. That could have very easily happened. So I'm very thankful that not more was stolen than could have, but it inspired me to make sure to put the warning out there: beware of pickpockets. Again, I understand this could happen in the United States as well, but it's just a lot more common in a lot of countries outside of the U.S. A lot of people learned to pickpocket because they had to survive. Others just, rather than work, they will steal from others. That's just, the realities of life. I don't know their situation, but I just know that it occurs. So here's some safety tips. When you're traveling overseas, don't carry anything in your back pockets. Gentlemen, don't carry your wallets in your back pocket. Either put it in your front pocket where you have more control, or get something like a fanny pack or a man bag of some sort that you can hold in front of you and have control of the whole time, so you know where it's at. It may not seem like someone can take something from your back pocket without you realizing it, but again, these guys are good. I mean, they will sneak up on you out of nowhere, and just like that, your money's gone, your wallet's gone, whatever. Your backpack, don't carry a backpack in these countries, because someone could easily come in, unzip something, and take it. If you are going to wear a backpack, do not put anything valuable in there. I mean absolutely nothing valuable that you can't afford to lose. And even if you can't afford to lose it, definitely don't put it back there. Just avoid backpacks at all cost if possible. But again, if you have to, don't put anything more valuable than you need to in there. Be aware of your surroundings at all time. When you kind of been walking around the countries, you can kind of tell who might be a pickpocketer. I know the few times I've gone out now, I can kind of sense them a little bit better, but it can still happen. Don't be aware of people that are overly friendly or trying to sell you something or get too close to you. Be aware of people that might be kind of bumping into you at awkward points. This might be a distractionary technique. If you're talking to multiple people, make sure they're both in your eyesight, because sometimes what happens is one person might be talking to you, the other, as a distractionary method, the other person might be behind you getting something from your backpack, or trying to get your wallet, or trying to get your other bag. It can happen. These guys work in mysterious ways, and they are very good at what they do. Again, you may not realize it, but it'll happen. Me personally, I've been carrying a fanny pack for the past few times that I've gone overseas. It's becoming very handy. I have multiple pockets in here, and I keep everything kind of distributed throughout all of the pockets. That way, even if I get distracted and someone gets into something, they're not going to take too much. Not going to be able to take too much to the point where I'll really be in a lot of trouble. Also, I've definitely learned to not keep anything more than I need to, any more valuables than I have to. If I don't need to keep my passport in here, I keep it safely at the hotel. I don't try not to carry around too much cash, more than I think I'll need to. I'll carry a couple of credit cards, some small amounts of money, maybe some small medications, a few little personal items here and there, but again, nothing more valuable than I absolutely need to have. So in case you are a victim, you won't become a severe victim. Luckily, in my case, not more was not stolen, and luckily I was safe. Luckily I was not harmed. I wish I would have known what was going on, so I could have stopped it at that moment. I was really upset and angry and stressed out. Oh, hey, there's Shane in the background. Hi, Shane. But again, luckily I was not harmed, and I did not lose more than I actually did. But I was certainly a victim in that moment. But I refused to let it tear me down, and I refused to let the anger bear down on me, even though I was very angry in that moment that it happened. It will not deter me from overseas travel, or just travel in general, or just going out there and living life. It was an unfortunate incident. Luckily, it wasn't worse, and I'm just glad that I came out of it intact. And it was a learning experience. Basically, the rest of the time I was in Paris, especially when I'm in very crowded situations, I had my hand like this the whole time, so that way I have full control of my belongings. If you go shopping, especially for expensive items, definitely make sure that they are in your control and in your possession and in your eyesight the full time, especially when walking in crowded areas. That's oftentimes when the pickpocketers will strike the most. Just always be aware of your surroundings. Keep full control of your possessions. Don't carry anything in your back pockets or a backpack or anything that you can't visualize basically at all times. I don't make this video again to frighten you or deter you in any way. I just want all of you to be more aware of your surroundings, especially when you're traveling overseas, because that's one of the unfortunate risks of traveling overseas is you got these pickpocketers that are extremely good at what they do. And I have heard stories of them cutting pant pockets without people realizing it, taking things out of bags without people realizing it, and just being able to take so many different items without unknowingly, without the person actually knowing whatsoever. It's just amazing how good these guys are, and I became so much more aware, even more so than I already was when it happened to me. This happened to me, I think it was Friday or Saturday night. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I just haven't had the opportunity. I am glad to be back home in the United States. I always love overseas travel, but it's always great to be back home and just relax a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, be aware of pickpockets. And again, don't let this video deter you from anything. Definitely go out, experience life, travel the country, travel the world, meet people, experience different cultures. Just have a great time, but definitely always be aware of your surroundings. Take the proper precautions as much as you can. I know you can't control everything, but we can always take certain steps to make sure that we're not victims in life as much as possible. Thanks again for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and please follow me on my website at ankitshukla.org. That's ANKITSHUKLA.org. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.